Welcome back everybody to another episode, and today I'm going to be showing you how to take apart and clean or repair a joystick drag issue that you may have. It's actually a lot easier than it looks. If you're going to do the simple way, you can return to the back and you should be able to take something small, thin, or like a paper clip might work, but I'm using a little dental pick thing, and you should be able to put it in this tiny hole right here. You just hold it there for 5 seconds and it'll basically tell the system or the controller that it doesn't know the system. You hold it there for 5 seconds, controller turned off. Okay, that's one way to try and fix joystick drag. Okay, the other method that I like to use is just a complex method. For these, you can just clean right here if you want. Use some sort of air can or something right here, but for me, I'm going to be showing you how to take it apart. Now, as you tell, this one's not a very clean controller. I will clean it up later. But first you're going to want to do is flip the controller upside down and take out these 4 screws. And you're going to want to put them somewhere, or just off to the side. Okay, once you've done that, you can turn the controller over. A lot of people like to pry it out, as you can see somebody tried to. But what you can do is put your palms right here, or just put one palm right here, and you can push up, and it should pop out like that. Push down right here, and pull up on the bottom of the Joy-Con, and it should just pop up. Can't see that very well. And you can do that on both sides of the controller, and it should all pop loose. Just be very careful when you're doing this. And you'll see, here's the battery. You're going to see this little connection right here. You're going to want to very carefully take it out. And it should look like this. Okay. Some models are different than others, but it's all basically the same thing. Now be careful when you want to take out the battery. 2 fingers. I like to use just 2 fingers and very carefully wiggle it out of there. Here's the battery. You're going to want to set it aside. You'll see another screw right about here. You're going to want to take that out. And once you unscrew it, just pop it off. Be very careful when you're doing this. And here's the cover to the battery, or the thing that holds the battery. Set that aside. Now you should be able to carefully, well, oh, I almost forgot. See this right here? You're going to want to very carefully pull that out. It's another wire. Just don't rip it out. Okay, should come loose. Just gotta make sure it doesn't get caught. When you take this up, just pull it off, and here's the top of the controller. You can set that aside. Okay, now you're gonna want to flip it around. And this screw, you can take it out. For me, it just fell out. It's the same size as the others, shouldn't affect anything. Now, I need to replace these joysticks. I'll do that in a second. As you can tell, these aren't very clean. They really need it. Okay. Transition. Okay, now that I've done a little bit of cleaning, not very heavy cleaning on this thing, you can see I got rid of all the hairs and everything. Okay, now you're going to want to very carefully make sure you know which joystick has the joystick drag. Basically, either this one or this one. And you're going to want to very carefully pop one of these out. For me, it's the right joystick that has drag. If you feel like doing all 4 of these, it's fine. You gotta be very careful about this. Very carefully pop this loose. It's easier with a flat head, a tiny flat head, but I don't have one with me at the moment, and I don't feel like getting one, so. Okay, once you've popped it loose, you should be able to pop this little disc out, okay? It may take a little bit, but do not lose this. And try not to damage the wires. Okay, once you popped it out, should look like this. Very gently set that aside. Okay, get yourself a Q-tip and some hydrogen peroxide or rubbing alcohol, preferably. I don't have any, but you want to get yourself a Q-tip. I don't have Q-tips, I've only got cotton swabs, but it's the closest thing I got. You're going to want to take that and gently get it dabbed with hydrogen peroxide, preferably rubbing alcohol. Okay, once you got a little bit of hydrogen peroxide on it, or rubbing alcohol, very gently clean the inside. Okay, try not to leave any cotton swab cloth in there, fibers, and very gently clean inside. If you're collecting dirt on the edge, that's a good thing. And if you really feel like it, you can clean the little part that is sticking up on the little disc. You can clean the top of that. You don't have to, I just prefer to. And very gently stick it back the way it was. Remember which way it came out so you can remember which way it's supposed to go in. Now your controller may look different from mine, but that's pretty normal. Everything's about the same. Okay. Once you got that basically in there correctly, you should be able to start to close it. Now it will take quite a bit of force, just don't break it. Make sure you put it in correctly before you try to do this. And repeat what I just did on whichever one you need it. Okay. Now once you've cleaned the preferred joystick, if you want, you can clean both of them, it's fine. You gotta find these, and it should have a piece, and it fits on perfectly to these. Now, for me, I'm going to replace these. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back, and I've got the two joysticks. Should fit perfectly on there. Just clicks on. You don't have to click it though. Just boop, and it's on. Okay. Now you're gonna want to turn this thing back over and basically reassemble it the same way you took it apart. Okay, now that you've done that, take the screw that came out from right here and put it back in. Okay, you don't have to put anything back on. Now you're going to want to very carefully fit this through here. Okay. And it should fit like that. Now you're going to want to put it back in the same spot it came from. Same little connector piece. Make sure it's in there, but don't break it trying to put it in there. Now that you've got that on, now you can take your screwdriver and screw it all the way in. Okay. Okay. Very carefully take your battery and make sure that these two pinholes line up with these pins in here. And set it in there. You can flip it around, it doesn't really matter how it went in. I can flip it around all I want. I just put it in like how it was. Okay, now take the bottom of the controller and reconnect this to here. But make sure when you flip it around it still is right. This takes a little bit hard work to show on the camera. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Doesn't matter really if these fall out or not, just make sure they're back in. And carefully put it back. Now you should just be able to click it back together. Okay? Okay, now you should be able to put these together. Turn it back over and put the screws on without messing up as badly as I did. Doesn't matter the order that you put the screws in, I just like to do it diagonally. One on the bottom right and one on the top left. Okay. Oh, 1 second. I gotta wait for the camera to focus. Okay, there it goes. Wait, has the camera been unfocused this entire time? I hope not. Okay. Now, it doesn't really matter how you clean it, just don't use water. Hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol does great when you're using like paper towels. I like to use little like alcohol swabs or something, but I'll clean it real fast. Never mind, I grabbed a dry alcohol swab. Give me a second. I also forgot to mention, I would recommend using a toothpick or like a dental pick. I prefer the straight one to get in between here, because as you see there's a lot of gunk right here, and you can scrape it out basically. Just try not to use too much force, otherwise you scratch it like how I just accidentally did. I'm trying my hardest to make this look newish. I'm sorry there's not much humor in this video. I'm just trying to get it out of the cracks. Okay. You can use it to get in between here, these little areas, by basically just sliding it along very carefully, and some of it will pop out. Try not to break it. I'm not the greatest example for this, but I do slightly do some good. Okay. There we go. One unsatisfyingly removal of a sticker. I said that not quite correctly. Okay, I'll work on that in a second. I'm using a toothpick to carefully pick out the gunk from the middle piece part of the speaker. So I gotta be very careful with this. I don't want to dig too deep and destroy the speaker. Okay. Okay. Now I gotta let that dry just a tad. Give me a second. Don't want this to look that bad. I just realized some dirt. This is just a show clean. I'm not cleaning the inside yet. I'll do that in another video, maybe. Or I'll just do that on my own time. This is basically just me cleaning the outside. And slightly failing at doing so. Normally I'd just take out the buttons and literally wash them, because the buttons aren't hooked up to anything when they're just taken out of the controller. Anyways, I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And there you have it. Oh, I missed a spot. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you want to, you can clean inside the... you can clean inside the L2 and L1 and R1 and L1 if it needs it. Sometimes they'll have a little bit of dirt, but that's normally pretty simple. But anyways, you can also take out this little cover piece and straight up wash it. It's not connected to anything either. And if you were to wash the casing, don't forget to take out the screw that is connected to the charging point. Okay. There's a pretty decent controller. I would show the before and after results, but I forgot to do the before. And that is how you basically fix the joystick drift. I don't want to showcase it or test it because this controller's already messed up, but that is how you do basically just a little bit of cleaning. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.